Falconry is a very, very ancient art form. It's 4,000 years old. And just because someone wrote a book, or just because someone like me is doing a YouTube video, please don't accept anything as gospel. And this is why I showed you more than a dozen different books, and we talk about different resources available, because you do need to go out, you need to collect as much information as you can, and then you basically say, well, this makes sense and this doesn't make sense. I'm not going to practice it this way, I'm going to practice it that way. And you need to make this decision so that your falconry fits your style, the animals that you are training, and the quarry available to you. So that's the most important thing, is you have to become knowledgeable on what falconry means to you and what you are able to do, because a person who lives back east is going to be a very, very different falconer than a person here that lives in Utah. And a person that lives in southern Utah flies birds differently than a person in northern Utah. And a person that flies a falcon is very different than a person that flies a goshawk. Very, very different styles and very different techniques. So collect information. That's rule number one, is get your information, become extremely familiar with the laws, get ready to pass your falconry test. And once you have done that, then you need to sit down and take a serious look at what your goals are as a falconer. If your goals are that you would like to fly a golden eagle and hunt coyotes and foxes, okay. Do you live in a place where there's lots and lots of coyotes and foxes? Do you have the terrain to fly a golden eagle? Do you have, you would need horses, and you would need a lot of extra equipment in order to fly a golden eagle versus a red-tailed hawk. Are you willing to dedicate that much time in order to do that? It might be your goal, but it may be a goal that's literally 20, 30, 40 years down the road. And so to go into falconry and say, I'm going to fly an eagle, or I'm going to fly a peregrine falcon, or I'm going to fly a red-tailed hawk, you really do need to be very much aware of what not only your capabilities are, but also the environment and the resources you have available to you. So the first thing that you need to do is to establish the quarry that you wish to hunt as a falconer, and then you need to go out and identify populations of that quarry. And so if your goal is to hunt jackrabbits and you live in Florida, guess what? You're not going to be hunting jackrabbits in Florida. It's because there are none. And so you need to acquire a bird that is capable of doing the job with the quarry that you have available to you. And this is extremely important. If you live in a big city, you may decide that falconry just flat isn't for you. If you live in a smaller city, but still in a city, your only quarry might be English house sparrows and starlings. And so a red-tailed hawk is not suitable for that, nor is an eagle, nor is a large falcon. But you can quite successfully fly a little sharp-shinned hawk on sparrows and starlings, or a merlin falcon. And so to be able to sit down, identify what the quarry is available, draw yourself a circle on a map of your local area, and basically if it's a greater distance than about 10 miles, that becomes an issue. Because the problem with a 10-mile range is that any further than that, it takes too long. You don't want to drive a half hour to an hour to your flying field, fly the bird for a couple of hours, and then drive back, especially because you want to be able to do this every day, 7 days a week, throughout the entire hunting season. The hunting season here in Utah is September through February. And so if I have to drive 30 miles or 50 miles to go fly, I'm only going to be doing that, if I'm really lucky, once, maybe twice a week. And so that would limit my opportunities. So I will fly a bird that is suitable for my environment, and also I will seek out as much information about the environment as I possibly can. Right now here in Utah, our jackrabbit population has crashed this year. And so up until just this year, we had plenty of jackrabbits, and my hawk and I, my eagle and I, did very, very well. This year, the population, because of severe drought, is gone. We have a few jackrabbits, but instead of having 15, 20, 30 jackrabbits that I can flush out in an hour within 3 miles of my house, now we're flushing out, if we're lucky, 1 or maybe 2 rabbits an hour, and of course our success ratio goes down dramatically because of that. And so it's not nearly as much fun for myself, not nearly as much fun for my bird, and so these are all things that you have to take into consideration. And so I'm driving 15 miles, 20 miles to go find flying fields, but because the drought is, basically, throughout all of Utah, even that, the rabbit populations are not great. So there's a lot to consider. Again, I'm making these as short videos. I want to treat you all as my students, where you guys are just sitting down across the room from me, and we're just having a good, honest discussion about what it takes to get into falconry. So again, first, regulations. Get familiar with them. Download them, read them, memorize them. Second, read every book you can find. Really important. Get as much knowledge as you possibly can. Third, let's get out and do a survey of the surrounding areas around your homes, so that you have a good idea as to what kind of bird that would be appropriate for you to fly in the habitat that you have. And then the next video, we're going to talk about getting your sponsor and getting ready for the test. So thank you guys. We will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.